My heart and mind all day. I don't know what that means NCT, but whatever.
It's provocative. It gets the people going.
It doesn't make any sense. What's up, everyone? It's Nate here from Truly Daebak with another episode of the DaebakCast. This is episode 123. We'll just get to count. And it's
yeah,
easy.
that's easy. That's the only time we'll ever get to do that, by the way.
Yeah. Well, once we get to 1,234, we could do it again. So,
God, when would we hit 1,000 episodes? Not even joking. Like,
you get 50 episodes a year, so 20 years.
Oh God, if we're still doing this in 20 years,
well, no, it'd be like 20. Well, because we're 100, it'd be like 22 years. So,
oh my God,
get back to me when I'm 50 years old.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in my. Oh God, if I'm still listening to K-pop in my 40s, that's I don't know. We'll see about that.
You'll be the Augie of the group.
Yeah, well, I'll just be like the dude, like sitting like there in the back of like standing general admission. I'd be too old to like deal with like the nonsense of up front. I'll just be there.
Yeah. You're not standing in the front or anything. Well, I don't know. People still do that. Whatever. Okay. After that tangent, if you don't know what the DaebakCast is, or Truly Daebak, we are a YouTube channel and podcast. DaebakCast is our podcast where we talk about K-pop and Korean entertainment culture. We put out parts like Monday through Thursday, and then full episodes on Friday. Parts only go up on YouTube. Full episodes go up on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. Google Podcasts. If you like, subscribe, share. Apparently, you click the bell, which is a thing that
that's actually a pretty important thing.
We need to tell people to do. Yeah,
because sometimes if you our videos won't show up in your inbox or your feed, so if you want to see everything that we're doing, especially if you're following for specific shows like this or for Produce Cast, make sure to hit the bell icon so you will be notified every time a video drops. That's the easiest way to stay up to date. Either that or just our Discord updates like every time there's a new video release.
Yeah, so then, also if you enjoy the show, subscribe to us, follow us on iTunes or on Spotify, review us on iTunes, and of course join our Discord, where we're always hanging out, and it's mucho lit, as we say. There's a nice community there, where you can hang out. We do fun stuff like song ratings, where we yell at each other for liking bad music. We are doing a book club now. And we just hang out there and talk all the time. So if you want to talk to us casually about random stuff, join our Discord. And like Andrew said, we have a bot that posts our videos there. Anytime a new video goes up, it goes up in one of the channels. So that's another way you can keep up to date with our videos. Okay, Nate, like I said, as always, Jacob's not here like usual because he's at school. Next week, you won't have me, though, so he should be here. And if he isn't here, Andrew's doing a solo show.
Solo show. I don't know if I can do that.
No, you could. I don't know. You could probably bring on Cooper. Might do it for for help. Like,
sure.
I just think he don't. But yeah, I don't want to. Obviously, don't want to push him into that. But he might help, or maybe you can get like Sam or Baron on or something. But I'm joined by Andrew, who I've said his name several times and usually has three things.
So Memorial Day weekend was last week, and I found like the greatest invention I've possibly found at all in terms of food. So we went to this it's a Korean barbecue place, right? So like pretty standard Korean barbecue, you cook your stuff in front. It's Korean barbecue / like buffet. So basically you pay like $20-$25 flat fee, and then you can get however much like meat you want, and then just grill it.
Oh, okay. So like there's still grill at your table, but like the meat's just out in a buffet, and you can just grab stuff.
You just pay
that makes way more sense.
However much you want. Yeah.
Because when you said that it was Korean barbecue buffet, I like pictured like a buffet of grills, and you just took random meat off of the grill back to your table. I was like, that's weird. Like that doesn't make any sense. But okay, that makes way more sense.
I know that's incredible. I'm just because usually like $20-$25 is like one plate of like I don't know, just like I don't know, like pork belly or something like that. You just basically like you only get like one type of meat, but at least with this, you just get like a bunch of different types of meat. They have everything there too in terms of like what you can grill. They have like regular stuff that you don't like, regular like buffet items you don't need to grill as well. So
yeah.
Yeah, we should probably go there. We should probably go there during KCON. I mean, it's in the same. Remember the place we went, like the hot pot place we went to, literally in the same like sort of like complex. It's the same place. So
yeah,
it was really good.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Number 2, there was a little mild controversy, or just like I don't know. It was a funny thing when they announced a little game called Call of Duty Modern Warfare. An interesting title considering there's a bunch of games already called Call of Duty Modern Warfare, so it's gonna be kind of confusing.
No, there isn't. There's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
And
there's no Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yeah, that's the thing. I guess it would have been confusing if they called it, because there's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare 4. Yeah, it would have been confusing to find Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4.
Plus, it's not a continuation of that trilogy.
Yeah, they just like screw it. We're just calling it Modern Warfare. So
makes sense.
It looked interesting though. I'm glad.
It looks
actually,
awesome. I'm really excited.
Again, as someone that literally like grew up playing COD 4 for hours and hours and hours and hours upon end, like seeing them go back to that would be pretty cool. Hopefully they do it well. I mean, I actually like, for as much crap as Infinity Ward got for like Infinite Warfare. Oh, I love that. I love that single player campaign. That was awesome. It's like freaking it was like, I don't know, like Star Trek in Call of Duty or whatever. So it was pretty cool. So hopefully they do something interesting with this. And I can't wait to like play with like actual guns again, instead of just like all this crazy like futuristic like auto snipers or whatever, all that crazy stuff that they've been doing lately in COD.
Yeah, I'm just excited for a single player campaign again.
Yeah, so, I missed it in Black Ops 4. I mean, I
only play Call of Duty for single player. I mean, I'm one of those weird people.
Like Black Ops 4 wasn't bad.
Black Ops 4.
Like even like in terms of multiplayer, just like with Blackout. But I mean, I still miss the single player. It's still probably the best part. Number 3, a little movie called Godzilla King of the Monsters came out this weekend. And oh my god, as a longtime Goji fan, it was everything I've wanted from an American Godzilla movie. Like just the music's done by Bear McCreary, very famous for his work on The Walking Dead, God of War, worked on that Angry Video Game Nerd movie. It's like a bunch of stuff. Like just he worked on Cloverfield, like really good composer, and he paid so much homage to like the history of Godzilla music and just like all these different like sound cues and everything. Like it was funny because all the articles were talking about, oh, you can't have a movie that's just like monsters fighting like it's WWE or something. I'm just like, that's all I want from a Godzilla movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the people want to watch.
Have you not paid attention to what they've been doing in Japan for the past like 60 years?
Yeah, literally everyone complained about the first one having not enough monsters and too many boring people parts. So like, of course that's like, they listen to people. So yeah, it was funny because it was funny because when you said that it was composed by Bear McCreary, I had just watched the God of War documentary, so like he was in that a lot. And then 2, I had never properly watched a Godzilla movie. I've probably seen like old ones on TV before yesterday, and then yesterday morning I watched the 2014 one, and then yesterday evening I went and saw the new one. So I ended up seeing 2 in one day yesterday. Nice. Yeah, they were good. I really liked. The first one was okay. I pretty much agree with all what I had read online. Like, the people parts sucked. The monster parts were cool. It was really, the cinematography was amazing. But like, yeah, just overall, like the people parts were just too like not really interesting enough. So then, yeah, the new one going in was way better because it was like 90% monsters fighting. So oh my God, like that's all I care. It was like 90% action.
Like if you told me like 3 or 4 years ago that we're gonna see like freaking Ghidorah and Rodan and freaking Mothra on a big screen with a Hollywood budget, like I'd think you're kidding. Like this is just, it's like it's really a dream come true for a lot of like Godzilla fans just to see like all these like crazy, like it's a giant moth, a 3-headed dragon, and like a fire dragon
Pterodactyl.
thing. like fire like who puts this stuff on in the Hollywood movies nowadays? The premise sounds so ridiculous. So I'm just happy that they give it the attention it deserved.
The one thing I was like saying to Egg in Discord, I was like, it'll kind of suck if Godzilla versus Kong is like the last one, because like I wish they could, or like I hope they could renew the contract without the exclusivity thing, because like I know you guys all say like Shin Godzilla is like the best Godzilla movie ever made or whatever, but because of that they can't make Japanese movies because of the contract right now.
Oh no, they can. They're working.
They just can't make them the same year.
Yeah, they can't make them the same year
or whatever. But like, yeah, it would be cool if they could just do it more simultaneously. But yeah, I want more. I hope like Godzilla versus Kong isn't the last one. I know they're doing like a whole, because obviously like they're doing a whole monster universe or whatever. Because Kong.
Yep.
Did you see that movie? Was it any good?
It was probably better than 2014 Godzilla, but I don't like it as much. I didn't like it as much as I loved King of the Monsters, though. So.
Yeah, that's not surprising. But yeah, I'll go watch that now. Hopefully the Godzilla versus Kong holds up. I know people are saying they think it's like Batman versus Superman, where really at the end they're gonna team up to fight like the real threat.
Yep. We'll see. Those are three things. Do I have anything else? Oh, just I guess a minor sort of like programming note. Since Nate's going to be on vacation next week, we won't be able to get to Produce Cast until the week after, so we're going to be a bit behind. But I mean, after that, I think we're going to be pretty much caught up. Essentially, it's just the 1 week.
Whoever commented the day episode 5 came out asking where the podcast was. It takes a little bit of time because first we have to wait for subs to come out, then we have to watch the episode, then we have to write up notes, and then we have to find time to record it. It's not like we can have an episode up as the episode of the show goes up.
It does take a while, especially for me. I wrote 16 pages of notes.
You have to take crazy notes or whatever.
So it'll take a while, but it'll come out soon. Don't worry.
Right. A week and a half or so, probably. Okay, that's it for the intros. That's probably a longer intro than normal, but whatever. We talked about Godzilla for a while. But let's get into the show. We'll go to topic 1, which is our review. So this is releases week, if you didn't know that going in. But like always, we have our first topic is a review, and that is NCT 127's new mini album, We Are Superhuman. Couldn't pass up an NCT review, obviously, especially with the hype that this single has going on with it, at least in our Discord. Even though it's been out for like a month or whatever, because they've been performing it in American shows.
It's a weird situation.
But I never watched any of those.
Yeah,
I waited for the music video to come out.
Yeah, I wanted to wait for the music video and like the whole proper release, but I'm pretty sure they've been performing it on like James Corden and like Good Morning America. Like it's one of those. We're in such a weird situation now with K-pop where they're premiering songs in the United States before it's even like showing up in Korea now, just because it's like everyone wants their like exclusive over here nowadays. Yeah. So,
but I assume they're promoting this, but I think it's nice because it works out, because then they can show the new song in America, but then they can still promote it in Korea, because like if they fully released it a month ago, they wouldn't have been able to promote it all like on music shows,
because they just so happen to be in the US for their tour, so they're just like screw it, we'll just show the new song, that sort of thing. I don't know if they performed it at their concert or not, but
I don't know about the concert. I know they've just been performing.
Yeah, because I mean I haven't seen I didn't see any fan cams yet, but I mean I wouldn't be surprised if they performed it there.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to the first song, which is Highway to Heaven. And I thought there's a really cool mix of synths in the verses of the song. There's like guitar, there's like tropical sounding synth, and then there's like Eastern Asian instrumentals all mixing. And I thought it was really cool to hear. And then the chorus has that nice like chugging synth, and that like group vocals like gives it a bit of an 80s flair. So I just overall really like the song. Also, I wanted to point out in the intro, the vocals are just fantastic. Overall, this is one of NCT's 127's best songs, I think. It's really, really good.
It's in general, the vocals on this song are pretty much a highlight. And I agree. It has that. It has almost an Outrun vibe with like the synths that they got going on in the background. So that's gonna be a really big get for me, or just like a really big appealing factor for me. So yeah, it just is. Same thing, pretty much loved the song top to bottom. Just some of the best vocals I've heard from, just in general. Like all this album has incredible vocals. Because that's the thing, NCT 127 is usually known as the like, oh my god, they're the hype group. They're like the hype group, They make really like hip hop like hype songs. They're not really known for necessarily for vocal showcases, whereas this entire album, almost everything is a vocal showcase.
Yeah. Ironically, they definitely toned down the hip hop and the rap sections for this album.
Cooper's notes. Cooper being our resident NCT 127 like crazy super fan, or just NCT fan in general. He said, "I first heard this at the concert last month. Oh wow, they're revealing songs." That's crazy. Oh, and yeah, Cooper said in his notes for Superhuman that they did perform it at the concert. So no surprise. That's crazy that they're doing all that stuff early. I first heard this at the concert last month. It completely blew me away, and it still does dozens of listens later. There's an MV for this? What?
Wait, really? I missed that.
Oh, whoops, missed that. Because he says, the MV is really simple, but I love the use of black and white with the desert landscapes. Okay, I'll have to look that up later.
Yeah, same.
Oops.
Next we have the title track, which is Superhuman. And this is 100% NCT doing a SHINee song. Literally everything oozes SHINee. It's got like funky electronic instrumentals. The group vocal chorus, like there's a weird instrumental section before the chorus. Just tons of crazy synths happening. It's very reminiscent of like Everybody. Or Married to the Music. Like just it's very, very much SHINee. And honestly, there's not much else to say. Like to me, SHINee is the best boy group in K-pop like history. And I think NCT did a good job recreating their style. So I loved every minute of it. As for the music video, amazing visuals. It really fits that like Superhuman vibe with all like the futuristic imagery and like they got like robots and that type of stuff. And the choreography is really, really good too. So overall, this was an amazing comeback.
Yeah. So before even, or when I first listened to this song, I was like, damn, it's really good. And then I looked up who produced it. It's produced by One Take and Tak. So aka Tak is one of my favorite like producers just in general, even outside of K-pop. But like he sort of made his name doing like if you look up on YouTube, like he has like millions and millions of views for his K-pop mashups that he did in like 2016 or something like that. Yeah, I remember he did like a bunch of those. He's done remixes for artists. He's done some production, but this is probably the biggest or the most high profile name that he and One Take have tackled in terms of just groups. And like it's got that like super like funky like SHINee style, which Tak just basically like he lives in this realm almost exclusively. It's so cool hearing, because at this point I'm so familiar with his production style when it comes to music. Like I love like he uses a lot of like chip tunes, like this type of like synths that he uses on the song. Just hearing it fits so well with NCT and this style of song. And just in general, this really is sort of like, this song is just a perfect summation of how NCT 127 as a group has really come into their own over the past year or so. Like between this and regular, just like they're really like firing on all cylinders as of late. It's just it's a far cry from me being like, I really don't give a shit about 127. I only care about you. They really are. I'm glad they're putting like the time and work into just putting like a lot of just detail and a lot more just creativity into 127. This is easily a Song of the Year candidate for me. Just right off the bat, like, I don't. Yeah,
I think this is mini album of the year. We'll get to it, but
they're just in. I mean, like, we're noted SM stands, and I know like we have like high bar for SM, but I mean, even stuff like this just really just blows me away. Still, like it's. Like this is as good as it gets, in all honesty. I hope that Tak gets more of a chance to produce for both NCT and other SM groups, just because, again, like this production style I feel is just so iconic and just so incredible. I hope more people like sort of recognize One Take and Talk's work. They actually they did another song this month that we'll get to in releases, but yeah, this is just, I mean, when I first heard this, like I didn't listen to the song until like earlier in the week, and just like the hype that everyone had up for it was sort of like worrying. But when I listened to it, it blew away my expectations completely. Just the music alone, not even getting into like the visuals or like the choreo. Like, granted, like most of the music video is just like the choreography anyway, but that's not a bad thing for me considering.
No, the choreo is
especially
really
considering this choreography is incredible. So, like, my favorite part of the choreography actually happens to be like, there's, you know, that sort of like little interlude before they hit the chorus. There's that part where they do like the sort of like subtle footwork where they're like sort of walking across, like kind of like moving across the stage. Yeah. That's so hard to do. Like, footwork's like learning how to dance over the past like 6 months or whatever. Like, footwork is honestly the hardest thing to get down perfectly, and the way that they're able to get their footwork so clean is, it's incredible. Also, there's just like there's like all these really cool like subtleties in their movements. Like they do like some like arm waves, like body rolls, that sort of thing. Like, again, there's just so much subtlety to the choreography that I really appreciate. I'd love to learn this, even though I'd probably die at it because it's so, you know, like NCT choreography is just super high level. But yeah, this is probably one of the best choreographies I've seen all year. Outfits are great. There's all this super crazy like hypebeast stuff. Yeah, music video like of like the sort of like visual elements. Yeah, it does have that futuristic vibe to it, just like super like outrun type of stuff. So this just like ticks all the boxes for me. I know, yeah, I've been really high on like singles lately. I don't know, just we've been getting a lot of good singles just in general. Like, this is a like kind of spoilers, but this is a 3.5 song immediately. Just like just like really like outstanding work from them. And yeah, just I'm surprised at how high I ended up being on NCT 127, despite not being like, again, we have the NCT 127, like the NCT 127 come to Jesus moment, but they've really blown it away over the past year. I'm really happy for them.
Yeah, they're doing fantastic. The Japanese releases and everything included. So yeah. Okay, let's move on to Fool. Oh wait, no, you got Cooper's.
Yep.
Cooper's notes.
Cooper's probably gonna Cooper wrote an entire paragraph for this, of course, because yeah, he saw it like a couple months ago. So, he says, "Woo! I also heard the song about 6 weeks ago or so when they performed it on GMA. Then I saw it performed at the concert, and it's just completely transformative. I never thought we would get something like this from NCT, but they blew it out of the park. The MV is their most ambitious yet. The way they blend the green screen and CGI with the music is next level. The choreography is some of their best as well. Without rambling on, I think this is in contention for song and MV of the year." So yeah, just Cooper's right there with us in terms of just how good this song is.
Yep. Okay, now we'll move on to Fool. I thought this was a cool take on like a loungy R&B song because the style of the instrumentals is what you'd expect, but they're like really staccato. And usually it's more like flowy for this type of song. The guitar added later brings it more like kind of what you'd expect. But it was just interesting to hear that more like staccato focus for this type of song. I thought the rap line was showing off this song, like, since the first two were more vocal focused. So they got their shining moment here for this album. Other than the only like really downside I had was like the talk rap bridge part thing, like that.
Really?
I wasn't a huge fan of
That's
it.
That's my favorite part of the song. What are you
really?
talking about?
I wasn't a huge fan of it. But overall, I love the song.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
So.
I think it goes so well with, I guess, just the vibe of the song, just in general, and it kind of fits again with like how the rap line's sort of approaching their cadence, so to speak. Yeah, I do agree. Like the rap line definitely killed it on this song, especially. I feel like the way it interweaves with the instrumental that they got going on here. But yeah, again, just another song, even though it's kind of like rap focused or just like talking focused. The vocals during the chorus are just great as well. So just another like really good song off of this album so far. Cooper said it's a light, fun song to come after the epicness of Superhuman. I love the funky NCT a lot, so I hope their B-sides continue this type of sound. I agree. I feel like, yeah, this is really, because again, they kind of were just like going around like all over the place in terms of just like sound before, like they had a bit of an EXO sound at the beginning, and then they started going on to like stuff like Cherry Bomb. But I feel I do like this sort of like funky R&B sort of thing. It's kind of the best of both worlds in terms of just combining good vocal quality and just like still having hype song. Yeah, Superhuman, I guess, is just a good sort of middle ground in terms of those type of styles.
Yep. Next we have Jet Lag. And for me, Timeless is like one of my favorite NCT songs, and I really want NCT the ballad. So I pretty much never complain about NCT ballads. Like we said at the beginning, their vocals are amazing, even though like you think of NCT as more of like hype hip hop group.
Yeah.
Their vocalists are fantastic. And I thought it was really cool to like mix in the super prominent bass line. And then like it's almost like the snapping sound. It's almost like they have like keys in their hands when they're doing it. There's like a it's like a really like cool effect jingle of sound. Yeah, there's like a weird jingle added to the snaps, which it's like they're holding car keys or something. It's really cool sounding. But yeah, overall I think the piano part's great. I think the singing part's great. I think the rapping's great, and I really like it's something I talk about a lot for songs. I really like when songs slowly layer on more and more like parts to the music. It's why Hush by Miss A is one of my favorite songs of all time, is because the way that song starts, it's just them singing, and then they slowly add instrumentals. I love when songs do that. So I liked that the song did that as well.
It's kind of funny again how NCT as a group just became known for just mostly rapping and just type songs, when you kind of forget, like with this group, you kind of forget that they're under SM, and SM is literally known for like the quality of their vocalists. It's kind of like their sort of that's their calling card essentially.
Well, yeah, that's why when NCT was first announced, like it was crazy to hear SM was putting out a like hip hop focused boy group.
At this point it's just kind of like sort of become like synonymous at this point, so it's weird that it's sort of flipping the script in that way. But that being said, this song might be my favorite NCT like album track ever like released. Again, it's like you mentioned, like that instrumental is pretty simple. Like all you got going is like pretty much the bass line, the snapping, like the piano part, simple sort of drum track type of thing, but just the way that sort of it fits in with the vocals, especially during the chorus, once they do that like chorus vocal, like the harmonies and everything. It's just been ingrained into my psyche the past week. Like it's hard to forget this song at all. It's probably even more amazing live. So again, I'm just glad that they're showcasing more of this vocal talent, because it's always been there. It's just you never got to see it too much in the singles, just because they've always been like the super hype stuff. But I need more of this from NCT, just in general, not just 127. So
yeah, that's why I want NCT the ballad. It needs to happen.
NCT the ballad.
So just give me a whole album.
Yep.
Of combining all the great vocalists.
Cooper said, I also heard this at the concert. Love every NCT ballad.
Apparently
and this
they just played the whole album at the
they probably just played the whole freaking album. Like they just revealed the whole He could have done this review a month ago. He says, this doesn't disappoint, and the vocals are on point as usual.
Yep. Next we have Paper Plane. I thought this had a really cool, like, really good acoustic intro. I think the vocals and the beat just give off like that fun summer feeling. And there's my favorite part of the song is the pre-chorus. There's amazing vocals, and then the piano line follows the melody of the vocals. That part really stood out to me. And the chorus is a drop chorus, but overall I enjoyed it. It has a fun melody and it fits the song well. I mean, the track's like probably the most basic on the album, but it was still fun.
I was surprised at how much I ended up liking, because I usually kind of get sick of drop choruses, but yeah, again, the melody on this one is super catchy. And it fits perfectly with a song, so it's not egregious or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like how fun and upbeat this song is. Kind of reminds me of something like One Direction would do, or something just like that type of like super like upbeat boy group type of thing. So yeah, just cool change of pace. Again, surprisingly good, well written drop chorus. That it's super catchy. So yeah, I don't hate the song or skip the song at all. Whenever I was listening to the album.
Yeah.
Cooper mentioned, this reminds me of something that would be on their first mini album. It's super light and summery, a good closer at the They literally performed the whole. They literally performed the whole thing. Like literally every comment has like something with the concert.
Yep.
God, that just makes me more sad that we missed NCT.
Yeah.
Granted, again, we were in Korea and Japan, so.
Yeah, exactly.
well.
We had
Look, and you know they're coming back
better
next year.
things going
You know
on.
they're coming back. Like NCT is going to be a group that comes to the US like every year.
Oh yeah,
now, so.
yeah, definitely. And finally we have the outro. We are 127. And I love how creepy the synths are leading into the drop. And yeah, just overall, there's just some really awesome like sci-fi sounding like inspired synths. It was just a really cool outro.
Yeah, I just think I could already imagine how cool the choreography piece because this is gonna be like an awesome like concert like experience sort of thing. Just like I can already imagine like Mark and Taeyong just doing some crazy like choreography and shit for it. Again, we're always big fans of like intros and outros. I love how this outro incorporates parts of like Superhuman into it, has like these crazy like sound effects and everything going on in the background too, just super industrial sounding, very very much an NCT type of sound. So yeah, I really love this outro. Surprisingly, even though it's just like an instrumental sort of like mashup type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Cooper didn't give any notes on the outro.
Oh, okay.
I guess he did. He must have not seen it at the concert, or else he would have.
Yeah, he just did everything based off his concert. He didn't even listen to the album.
He didn't even listen to it.
Okay, then we'll get to our scores. And for me, I kind of spoiled it earlier, saying I think this is one of the mini albums of the year candidates. I gave this a 10 out of 10. I think all the songs on the album fantastic. I loved every single one of them. Like they blew me away at what they did to like mix it up, because it wasn't what you expected from an NCT album at all. There was no hype hip hop focused songs at all, really. So yeah, I just loved everything about it, and the music video was fantastic. Choreography was amazing. There's nothing wrong with this comeback at all. So I gave it a 10.
On my end, I gave it 9.5. Just slight points taken off of for album tracks. As much as I love like Fool and Paper Plane, obviously I don't feel like it deserved perfect marks necessarily. That being said, yeah, this is probably one of my favorite mini albums of the year. Definitely one of my favorite singles of the year. Yeah, I hope that NCT starts getting more popular in Korea, just because it's one of my biggest complaints just in general with K-pop is that it's so much of like the same like generic sounding, or everyone's trying to copy like one of like 2 or 3 groups essentially. Like everyone's trying to be the next BTS, everyone's trying to be the next EXO sort of thing. NCT really is on the sort of cutting edge or bleeding edge almost of boy group
neo culture technology.
Yep. And I mean, like, yeah, as stupid of a sounding or like weird of a sounding of a concept as NCT is, I really do appreciate the fact that they're always willing to sort of push the envelope or do things or change it up all the time. I really, again, I always talk about seeing progression in an artist's music, and there is such a clear progression in their line of work that I love to see. So yeah, like as weird as it is, just like say like at this point, like NCT 127 or NCT is just probably one of my favorite like boy groups in general. I'll have to live with that since like EXO's gone, and EXO's probably like my ultimate. But like, I mean, yeah, they more than live up to the legacy of SM's like numerous boy groups, and I feel like I don't feel like they're necessarily an imitation of any of them necessarily, especially something like this is just super off the wall in terms of just something an SM group or SM artist would put out. So yeah, I love the trajectory that they've been on so far. Hopefully they do gain more steam in Korea, because I feel like more people need to recognize just how good this group is. So yeah, that's for me, that would be a 9.5 out of 10. Yep. I guess you can read Jacob's notes and then I'll read Cooper's.
Yeah. Yep. So Jacob just did a summary, and he said the album starts out with two of NCT's strongest tracks ever, in the super fun and energetic Highway to Heaven and Superhuman. The Eastern-sounding synths in Highway to Heaven are reminiscent of Ten's Dream in a Dream, as well as the super effective layered group vocals in the chorus really make the song shine. As for Superhuman, I think this is for sure 127's strongest title track since Cherry Bomb. I love the Yeah Superhuman intro. It's super fun, as well as the deep, punchy bass line throughout the song. The song also reminds me of Gravity, which was my favorite track from EXO's Don't Mess Up My Tempo album. The MV was really nice as well. Fool was a nice hip-hop track that flexes the rap line's muscles decently well and has a nice, almost Punchinello style beat. The piano intro and Jet Lag deadass made me think Energetic by 101 started playing on accident. Overall, it's another really nice track with awesome group vocals and bass lines. Paper Plane is probably the most basic of the tracks on the album, but that isn't really saying much because the album is really great. The beat drop is super fun and punchy. The verses are the only part that could really be more interesting for me. Lastly, the outro was a pretty interesting ending to the album in that it does a lot of stuff using their vocals within the sound space, but was a little heavy on the dubstep for my taste. Overall, this was a fantastic EP, and he gave the music a 6.5 out of 7 and the concept a 2.5 out of 7, he said. A 2.5 out of 3. So he gave a 9 out of 10 overall.
9 out of 10. So Cooper's overall summary says, this is one of my favorite mini albums of the year, which isn't surprising. Bless you, which isn't surprising, but I really appreciate they change their sound up so often. It's why they continue to be my alt group, and that's not an understatement. Cooper freaking knows every single member of NCT. I probably can't even name like 5 members of 127. In all honesty, there's just so many of them. I'm sorry, but
well,
like I love their music
Johnny,
so much.
Taeyong, Doyoung, Win, kind of. So there you go. I got 5 of them.
So he gave it a 6.5 out of 7 for music, a 3 out of 3 for concept, for a 9.5. So that
is 9.5.
Yeah, and average is 9.5. Definitely one of our highest rated albums of the year. I've been giving a lot of high ratings lately. I don't know. I just feel like maybe there's just been a lot of good stuff like for the past couple of months. So we've
been reviewing some really good stuff.
Yeah,
lately.
So. Yeah, I'm really.
I mean, considering the trash we had to deal with at the beginning of the year with like Momoland and stuff. Like. Yeah,
2019 really is kicking it into high gear. So, what are your thoughts on NCT 127? Do you like this new type of sound from NCT with Superhuman? Do you want them to go back to more hip hop stuff? Did you see every single song in concert? Like, because apparently everyone else did.
Cooper did.
Let us know what your thoughts are on NCT and the songs in the comments below.
If Psy signs them and recreates Pristine, I will invest in his company. And then I will find a way. I don't know if it's publicly traded, but I will find a way to invest in Psy's company. And then eventually I just need to become the majority shareholder and I turn it into IY Entertainment because he already starts it for me.